Hi everyone, I want to show you my project that I did for my final presentation. And in my new role, I'm in charge of one of my duties is the science grades, and the fifth grade science score on the state assessment needs to come up, to say the least. So I designed a PLC for a district-wide teachers grades 3 through 5, and it'll start with a full day professional development. So I linked the goal and a schedule for the day so they know what we're doing during the day. And then the first activity to set the climate of the day is to everybody create vision boards to remind them why we're doing what we're doing for such a hard job of being a teacher. And one of the um, one of the things they'll receive is a binder, and the binder goes along with the presentation. So I put an example of the vision board in there with a quote that I chose and some pictures of the things that I think about teaching and what I want my classroom to look like. So they're going to create their vision board and then hang it around the room. And then we'll do a gallery walk, which is a avid strategy. And they'll have Post-its where they'll stick it up and be positive comments, and we'll, support each other and collaborate and enjoy each other's creations of what they envision their classroom to be. And then we're going to dunk right into the data dive of see why we have to have this PLC. And this is some of the state data that I pulled off the DOE website. We're looking for a 3, 4, 5. And these are the percentages per school, not including our charter schools, that students got into a 3 or 4 or 5, and then the level 3 over above. And they did percentage wise on each of the 4 subcategories. So that is also in their binder. And of course, I did a bar graph in case you're not good at a table. And then I introduced my brain-based evidence of what kind of work we need to incorporate into our lessons, what kind of activities. And there's art and classroom, and I have some information to back that up, and episodic repetition and collaborative learning and how kids learn from other kids and talking about it. And then our next strategy with that is the 4 corners challenge. So in their binder, they'll each be given a marker, and that marker will determine what group they're going to be in. And in their binder, they can brainstorm as a group of what they want to put on their big poster of how to incorporate that aspect, that brain-based learning, into lessons. And I did include the wicker chart of writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading, just to kind of stimulate ideas for them of some avid strategies and activities that they can use under each of those areas. So then I will, and once they're finished, then we'll actually finish it with a little gallery walk. But there's room in their binders that they can either add information or notes in that they want to take from other people's posters, and they'll have their Post-its where they can support each other's as well. And I do have that wicker for the levels of COSTA level of questioning and avid responses and activities, just so they can see that. And I'll have that up while they're brainstorming. Even though it's in their binders, I want to have it in 2 places, which will take us to the final thing of the morning, and that's reviewing Bloom's taxonomy and how the state's really going to test at the higher level type questions. So I put a little how it's revised from what used to be a noun and how it's a verb form, what the kids will do, and a little video that's embedded and linked. And there's this place in their binders where they can take notes on and inspirational ideas from that video. And then they get a lunch break. And it's this is the typical time we have a lunch break in our district when we're having professional learning days. And then I outline the goal for the afternoon so they know what they're coming back for. And in the afternoon, they're actually going to use their ClassLink dashboard, which has all the icons embedded that are vetted and approved by state legislature that we can use for curriculum, and the link to CPOMs. And they're going to use CPOMs exclusively, maybe some other supportive materials, but today it's CPOMs to actually look up each standard and lesson plans that are embedded and vetted by the state, and how we can look at it at 3rd grade, the same standard at different lessons at 4th grade, and then thus at 5th grade, and maybe its properties of water and how it would build on itself for that episodic repetition and using old knowledge to master new knowledge. And just to show them that when they open their class link, because some wonky things sometimes happen with technology, what icons were we used today. And Illuminate, I just want to make sure that they have. That's something that I'm going to offer a stipend for next summer, that once they have all their test bank questions, I'll offer somebody a stipend to actually make the Illuminate district-wide, 100 plus mile district-wide test bank for these upper level test questions aligned to standards that kids, they can use throughout the year. Other than that's in the progress monitoring that we do. So they have a link for CPOMs, and I also created a Canvas course so that they can self-enroll and then put all their data in there so that everybody across the district that self-enrolls in that will ultimately have access to this. So the first link is to link and self-enroll into the Canvas course, and they can then, see what that looks like. And I do have a slide later that shows them in just a couple little bit, shows them what they will look like to make sure that they're in the right location. And this is their instructions and resources that they can use. These are some supportive things that are linked on our class link of Discovery Ed, Study Island, Vocabulary, and my expectations of what we're doing for the afternoon. And they'll actually have 2.5 hours to do this. So it's a big chunk of time and it's hard work. And this is what the one section of their Canvas course looks like, so that they can, for each standard, like one group will do 1.1 all the way. So we'll have 6 different groups. And for each standard, they can upload their documents by standard, so that not all people are working on 1.1. They're all going to be separated. And each group is going to have teachers 3 through 5. And then we have 4 other professional learning days embedded in our schedule. And I included the standards that we would be covering each of those times in the same manner and upload to the Canvas course, so that by the end of the year, we've covered all the standards that are particularly focused standards on the course, on the standardized test. And then I did a QR code for a Google Forms document, so that's going to serve as their attendance, an electronic copy of their attendance, and as well as what school they're associated with, so that their PD points can be incorporated into their frontline. I'll push it out to the PL coordinators in each school so that each person can get their professional development. I just want to show you what that Google Forms looks like. It's a survey that will get their email address, what school, and then I did incorporate it's more than you saw just on the data charts, because I put our charter schools in there as well, because I'm hoping to get them more inclusive in what we do in the district this year, because they're still under my umbrella, and they have some great resources and also need other resources. So I think that we can only benefit by incorporating the charter schools. And then they have to talk about each activity, what they found from the afternoon session, and that sort of thing. So this serves several purposes of giving me feedback, and also is an electronic record of their attendance. So the only other thing that I haven't shown you is at the end of their binders, even though they have access to CPOMs through their dashboard, I wanted them to actually have in one location, so they don't have to have everything up on their computer, a definition of each by grade level of each standard in N.1, just the nature of science 0.1, all the way through 1.7 and 8 that we can use. So I wanted them to have that available to them as part of their binder. So that's it. That's my presentation. That's my project.